Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Master Mojo Ash. In this video I will show you the 10 best fights of Season 1. Season 1 of Reincarnated as a Slime featured many electrifying fantasy battles in a ruthless isekai world. Which fights were the best? That time I got Reincarnated as a Slime as a smash hit isekai series starring Rimuru Tempest the Slime. Although Rimuru's ultimate mission in this new world is to create a peaceful and tolerant kingdom of monsters, he is still capable of war. And, over time, he became a true powerhouse, loaded with magical abilities. Season 1 of Slime saw Rimuru go from a lonely slime to the king of a brand new nation that he and his many powerful allies are ready to defend to the death. This show's first season is packed with exciting and colorful action scenes, many of which star Rimuru Tempest himself. Number 10. Rimuru Tempest vs. Wolfpack, A Humble Beginning. This was one of Rimuru Tempest's first ever fights, and the end result was the first true monster alliance in the Jura forest. Rimuru had already sided with the weak goblin tribe, and a large pack of wolves was on the hunt for goblin blood. Rimuru fought the entire pack single-handedly, using his steely spider threads and water blade spells to decapitate and kill several wolves, including the leader. The remaining wolves surrendered, and Rimuru accepted them as his and the goblins' new allies. From then on, goblins would ride wolves into battle. Number 9. Rimuru vs. Ramirezs Golem, a fight that forged a friendship. Late in Season 1, Rimuru Tempest took charge of the late Shizu Izawa's young students in Ingrasha, and the kids had a problem: excess magic. They were doomed unless Rimuru did something quickly, so Rimuru led them into the dwelling of spirits to find a solution. A massive pink golem confronted them, ready for battle. Rimuru bound the golem in steely spider threads, then vaporized it in a dazzling show of force. Then Ramirez the Fairy Queen arrived, one of the 10 demon lords, and Rimuru promised to build her a new golem soon. This would mark the beginning of their friendship. Number 8. Shizu Izawa vs. Noir, Diablo, a battle between legends. In the final episode of Season 1, the narrative goes back in time to explore a particular event in Shizu Izawa's career as a masked hero. She ended up in a large castle with many other adventurers, only for the doors to become locked, and an ancient demon known as Kuro, later Diablo, attacked with claws and fire. Shizu fought back with impressive skill, but she wasn't strong enough to defeat him. For that matter, even Rimuru probably isn't strong enough to vanquish Kuro in a real fight. After Kuro killed the Imposter King, he vanished, having completed his mission. Although Shizu was defeated, she survived to fight another day as a true hero. Number 7. Rimuru Tempest vs. Gazel Dwargo, a kingly test of might. Partway through Season 1, Rimuru had a significant army backing him up, and the Dwarf King, Gazel Dwargo, decided to audit Rimuru's forming nation and see what the slime is capable of. So, he and his Pegasus warriors visited Rimuru's small city, and Gazel challenged Rimuru to a friendly but fierce duel of swords. Gazel demonstrated incredible skill, and he had Rimuru on the defensive. Eventually, Gazel was satisfied with what he saw and declared that he recognized Rimuru's proto-nation as legitimate. The armed nation of Dwargo became Rimuru's first international ally. Number 6. Rimuru Tempest and Ogres vs. Milam Nava, the way to Milam's heart is through her stomach. Rimuru and his ogre allies were visited by a true powerhouse partway through Season 1, Demon Lord Milam Nava. Despite her bratty personality and her goofy demeanor, she was stronger than anybody in Rimuru's small nation, even Rimuru himself. And she wanted to introduce herself with her fists. Milam ultimately wanted to test Rimuru and his allies, and she was impressed when Rimuru and the ogres fought back with all their spells. Eventually, Rimuru ended the fight by bribing Milam with a taste of local honey. More than anything, Milam loves eating lots of food. Number 5. Gabiru's Army vs. Orc Army, A Clash of Clans. Gabiru is an enthusiastic but arrogant and reckless commander of the Lizard Man army, and he tried to take on the massive Orc army all by himself, despite what the Lizard Man chief wanted. Gabiru got in over his head, but he and his army persisted, and they soon got reinforcements from the goblins. Gabiru and his men rallied and took the fight to the orcs, buying time for Rimuru and his ogre bodyguards to prepare a counterattack. Gabiru couldn't win the day himself, but it was still impressive to see him fight like that. Number 4. Rimuru Tempest vs. the Orc Disaster, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Gabiru's battle with the Orc army, as hoped, bought Rimuru enough time to deal the finishing blow. Gabiru couldn't possibly defeat the orc disaster himself, but Rimuru could, and the slime stood on even ground with a foe many times his size. Rimuru and his allies dealt many blows to the orc disaster, but they were getting no closer to winning, so Rimuru took a chance and used his predator skill against the orc disaster's own ability, Starved. Rimuru won, and the orc army stood down at last. Number 3. Rimuru vs. Ogre survivors, from enemies to loyal companions. Before its eventual defeat, the orc army went on a rampage across the land, and the orcs nearly wiped out the ogre tribe, with just 6 survivors escaping, including their leader and his little sister, the princess. Then the ogres met the masked Rimuru and mistook him for Laplace, the one who had spurred the orcs on. The ogres, who would be renamed Sue, Benimaru, and Shion, all attacked Rimuru with stylish and impressive attacks, and Rimuru wisely used non-lethal counterattacks to capture them and end the fight before things got out of hand. It was a cool but short battle, and the ogres soon became Rimuru's most loyal allies of all, especially Shion. Number 2. Rimuru Tempest vs. Ifrit, a fight for a girl's freedom. Shizu Izawa was Rimuru's ally, but the fearsome fire spirit inside her was not. Demon Lord Leon Cromwell had placed the mighty Ifrit inside her, granting her fire powers, and now Ifrit was going on a flaming rampage. Rimuru and his allies took on Ifrit, but it was a tough opponent, to say the least. Not even water blades would work on it, and Ifrit could resist fire-based attacks. So, Rimuru finally used the Predator ability and devoured Ifrit to end the chaotic battle. Amusingly, Ifrit would later become Veldora, the Storm Dragon's friend and shogi partner inside Rimuru's belly for a time. Number 1. Rimuru Tempest and Milam Nava vs. Charybdis, the unstoppable best buddy combination. At one point, Rimuru made an even bigger enemy than the orc disaster, Charybdis, a great flying beast that could take on small armies all on its own. Rimuru fought it alongside Gazel's Pegasus warriors first, but nothing was working. Then, Rimuru realized that Charybdis was after Milam in particular. So, Rimuru gave Charybdis what it wanted, and set up a battle between it and Milam. No matter what Charybdis did, it couldn't harm Milam, and then Milam hit back with a devastating Dwargo Buster attack, obliterating her massive enemy. It was a truly thrilling display of magical power.